Hi everyone, welcome. Are you ready to bring deeper balance into your energies? Perhaps creating even deeper, stronger habits as well. So let's get to it. We are going to begin this morning with the 4 thumps. It's a really good place to start anytime you wish to balance your energies. And very often people do start up here on the cheekbones for the stomach thump. But remember, if you have a favourite, feel free to spend longer, start somewhere else. I personally really like starting with the grounding thump because I think very often, for most of us, we can be ungrounded in small ways. There's lots of different avenues to grounding, lots of different ways that we ground. And one of those ways is through stomach meridian energies. And so some people don't ground very well through stomach. It's an area where I've been a little bit shaky over the years. So on a personal note, I can really feel a difference at times. So I share that to hopefully inspire you to notice in yourself what these exercises do, and does this one help you feel more grounded? And now we go about an inch below the middle of the collarbone. These are your kidney meridian points. And noticing how they're feeling this morning. Sometimes these points can be quite sore. So if that's the case, and it may not feel the nicest thing for you to tap it might feel nicer and more pleasant to massage, either with your knuckles or with your fingertips. You might even try tracing some figure eights on these points, because these are acupoints, and acupoints can often respond well to figure eights. The figure eights will help to bring balance in a different way. So perhaps seeing what it feels like now. And it certainly can be lovely to combine the techniques. So sometimes I will do bits of massaging, holding, figure eights, tapping, and just mix it all up. Now we're going to the middle of the chest, the thymus. Remembering your breath. If you find that you're drifting off in your mind, thinking about supper later or any jobs you've got to do today, then doing your best to really be present and really to breathe, allowing as much energy to move as possible for your highest good. The 4th thumb is for spleen meridian, so we tap at the side of the body, about where the seam of the clothing is, about halfway down the rib cage, and also at the front. Okay, let's go on to crossing over. So for the cross crawl, raising a leg and tapping with the opposite hand, and then alternating, and certainly standing if that feels better to you. I think generally most of the time people stand for the cross crawl, but I really love to acknowledge that we're all different and we are all unique in our energies. And we can also differ from day to day, from the time of day. So perhaps you might find that in the morning you would like to stand if you do a cross crawl. But if it was later on in the day, that might not feel that great to you. You might just want to sit down and do a slower version. So always being mindful of what feels right for your body in the moment. And crossing over your energies is so profoundly critical. Donna Eden says that when we are not crossing and our energies are homolateral, that we're running at about 50% capacity. So that means your ability to think and make decisions, your ability to focus on things, your energy levels, if you wanted to do something that you love, like a hobby, go and do some sports or some arts and crafts. you'll perform much better and you'll have much more capability when your energies are crossing. So the other main way that we cross the energies is with the shoulder pulls. So that's where you smooth from the shoulder to the opposite hip several times, doing both sides of the body. And it might feel a bit different to you if you go back and forth doing one on each side like this. So there's another option, a different way that you could do these shoulder pulls. Okay, taking a moment to notice how you're feeling. And we're going to do the weighing cook now. So crossing one leg over the other, bringing your arms out, palms out, and then crossing, clasping your fingers and coming underneath. And being mindful that unscrambling your energies is also one of the most key, important things that you can do for your overall energetics and your well-being. Once you've done 4 or 5 breaths, swapping so your legs cross the other way. You may wish to cross your arms as well, but making sure to cross your legs so you do both sides. And again, taking several breaths. Now we close the weighing cup with this final part, bringing your fingers and thumbs together, resting your thumbs above your nose and taking a breath here. And now with your hands resting, dragging over to your temples and maybe repeating that a few times, seeing what that feels like. What are the signs perhaps that you are opening up this area and making space, that your forehead, around your third eye, above your nose. And now giving your hands a shake, releasing any excess stagnant energy to the earth. And we'll do the crown pull now, so stretching over the top of your head. And as you begin, asking yourself, what pressure do I want to do this morning? What pressure might be for my highest good? And maybe a word might pop into your head. It might be something like gentle or delicate, or maybe you hear a word like deep. And maybe nothing comes to you, in which case, just try it a few different ways. See what feels the best. Staying longer in any spots that feel a bit more sore. And doing the sides of the neck and pulling the energy off at the front, giving your hands a shake. And let's open up the sides of the head a little bit as well. We focus a lot on the midline. That's the main classic version of the exercise, but energy can get stuck all around the head area. So let's do the same thing at the side, where you do a stretching movement, starting somewhere near the front, nearer to your face, and then just doing stretches. Again, being mindful of what pressure feels the best for you, and also the speed that you do it, because you could move your hands faster or much slower. And the distance that you stretch as well. You could stretch maybe a few millimeters, or you could come across a few centimeters or inches. And noticing again any spots at all where there's any soreness. Remembering soreness is usually some congestion in the energies. If you were to think of a bottle, perhaps a water bottle, filled with water, and if the water was the chi, the energy, then energy can become very stuck in places, and there can be too much energy jammed in. And when that happens, almost always that will result in some discomfort, maybe some pain. Now remember, pain can be a result of lots of reasons, and one of the main things I think is a gift with pain, actually, although it's very unpleasant and difficult at times. But pain can really teach us things, and it's like a sign, signalling things that are off and disrupted in our energies, and then potentially in our physiology. So if you ever have a pain that's really new, it's big, it's sudden, concerning, then please do visit your doctor, because they are a very valuable, important resource to support you. But also then at the same time, alongside that, being mindful that on energy terms, pain is usually stuck energy. So there are some simple things you can do, like stretching, as long as there's nothing like an open wound, that potentially might just alleviate things a bit, might just make you feel a little bit better, which when we're in pain can be such a gift to feel even just a little bit better. So maybe you can notice a difference now in your crown, having spent a little bit longer opening up space there. You might even want to shake off your hands or your arms a little bit, really, if that's helping you in any way to feel a bit lighter, like a bit more is flowing. And we'll do the zip up now. So starting with your hands at your pubic bone, breathing in and coming over the top of your head. On the out breath, you are lowering, bringing your arms to your pubic bone again, and then repeating that several times. Noticing how you feel as you go, paying attention to the front of your body, to the midline where you're moving your hands. When I used to do a zip up years ago, for a long time, I didn't feel very much at all. I knew it was helping from energy testing. Using kinesiology, I was able to validate the before and after and see, yes, I am zipped up, and I'm creating a good habit there of staying zipped up. But it's only in the last few years that when I do this movement, I can really feel things. So I share that to hopefully keep you excited about noticing, because I think sometimes if people aren't feeling very much, people might think, oh, maybe this isn't having the desired effect in my energies. And people understandably think it would be really lovely to feel more. And I would encourage you, the main thing is keep that intention and keep that commitment to yourself over time, to be present, to notice, and to stick with your energy exercises. Because the more you do over time, you'll be bringing more balance, you'll be creating new habits, and you'll develop a closer relationship with your energies. And most people do over time feel more and more. So next time you come up the front of your body, stopping at your lips, turning your hands to lock in that zip up, and then going into a hook up, which is where you come into your belly button and above your third eye. Or sometimes people aren't so keen, and you might have a day when you don't feel like putting your finger inside the belly button. So you could go just a bit above or below. And being sure to get a little bit of pressure with the hook up, pushing in, pulling up, even just a little bit, but you could increase it if you want to do a firmer hook up. Remembering your breath, taking a few deep breaths with this exercise if you haven't already. One of the main benefits of the hook up exercise is that it's very centering and grounding. So as you hold here, can you tell ways perhaps that you are becoming more grounded? We've done a few other exercises that also help with grounding. So maybe casting your mind back to 15 odd minutes ago before we began, noticing a difference there. Now lowering your arms, perhaps giving your shoulders, elbows, or hands a shake. And we're going to do connecting heaven and earth. So we start in a prayerful position, breathing in whenever you're ready, creating a nice stretch with the hand palm down, the other hand palm up in the sky, holding your breath for as long as you want. And then when you're ready, breathing out, coming back to the middle and doing the same thing on the other side. When you do your second stretch, you might find that you can stretch a bit more. That's fairly common. So reaching just a little bit more into the sky and reaching down with your lower arm closer to the ground. And it may only be that you're reaching just a few more millimeters. So we're not talking about a big difference here, but just a small increase in the stretch can make a lot more space. And the last time that you breathe out, folding forwards, taking a few deep breaths here. Perhaps noticing how things feel down your legs and also down your arms, your shoulders, elbows, wrists, and into your hands. How do your joints feel? Usually this exercise will clear stuck energy in most of the joints, so it makes a lot of space. So if you'd like to, you could use your breath on the out breath, sending energy anywhere in your body, particularly the joints if you feel there's any stuck energy there. And then when you're ready, beginning to sway from side to side and making figure eights with your arms while you come back up. And continuing with some extra figure eights. Let's do the Celtic weave now, keeping the aura really well expanded, helping to support it staying connected to your body as well. Rubbing your hands together to begin and shaking them off. Now rubbing them together again. You could do this for much longer if you wanted, but usually after a few seconds, you've built up some fresh energy. Opening up your hands, you might be able to feel a sign and be aware of something that lets you know there's some fresh energy here. The most common thing that I hear from people is feeling a tingling or a warmth at the palm or in front of the hand round here. You might also move your hands a little bit, like so. And if you imagine that there is, and you visualize a lot of fresh energy like a ball here, and then you're moving your hands, you may be able to feel something that feels a little bit different. Now bringing that energy up to your head and taking a breath here. When you next breathe in, bringing your elbows together, crossing your arms in front. When you breathe out, you come out to the side. Then do the same thing in front of your waist. Breathing in and out, and now in front of your upper legs or knees. And then moving further down, reaching to your ankles and crossing if you can, or just doing elsewhere. And then when you come back up, making a circular movement, either in towards yourself, or it might feel nice to move more outwards. So the aura is one of the 9 energy systems, like the chakras or the meridians or triple warmer. And a lot of people have habits in the aura. So here we are today. This is day 19 of a 21-day challenge. And I know that a lot of people haven't been here each day, which is perfectly fine. It's wonderful to be here when you're able to. And of course, there's recordings. You can always repeat things and watch any time that you'd like. But one of the reasons that I went for 21 days was to help for all of us to create and build new habits in our energies. And indeed, in a lot of places, they say it can take 21 days to create a new habit. So even if you've not been here each day, maybe right now is the first time you are ever balancing your energies, in which case, welcome and congratulations. But wherever you are in your journey, the more that you do of a particular exercise over time, with regularity, steadily, gently, you will be repatterning the energies and building new energy habits. And that is one of the most important things that we can do. So all you need to do in order to build a new habit with your aura is to begin to introduce more of the Celtic weave exercise, more of fluffing like we're doing now with these circular movements, and lots of figure eights. Okay, so taking a moment to check in with yourself and notice, after a few minutes of working with your aura, how are you feeling? Having done all of Donna Eden's core daily energy routine exercises, how are you feeling? And are you feeling a sense of joy and ease at the moment? Where might you place yourself if perhaps 10 was the most joyful you think you could possibly be? And as we move through the Radiant Circus exercises, I invite you to, anytime you'd like, check in with yourself and notice, has that changed? Do I feel that I've been lifted somehow? And be mindful of which radiant circuits for you and your energies seem to be landing the best and giving you the best results. And then perhaps for the remainder of today, taking just one exercise and doing it every hour or two and seeing what a difference it might make in your day. So let's do belt flow to begin, reaching round, coming over and across 3 or 4 times, and then smoothing all the way down the leg and off your foot. And doing the same thing on the other side of your body, opening up this middle region. Can be great for digestion, this one, because a lot of energy can be stuck in the middle of the body, and digestion is very relevant for a lot of people. We're doing penetrating flow next, so starting with your hands behind your belly button, breathing in, breathing out and lowering down, breathing in again, coming up and round, and as you breathe out, down to your pubic bone, breathing in, coming up the front of your body, up the midline, and breathing out and tracing some figure eights here. Now let's do the in-bridge. So for the in-bridge, beginning in your power point at the top of the back of your neck, smoothing up over the top of your head, and then coming through onto your cheekbones. Maybe these stomach points feel differently to 20 minutes ago. That's entirely possible, so worth checking in and noticing. Likewise, moving on to kidney now, you may find, having done various things to balance your energies, that the kidney points might feel different. And now tracing 3 hearts over your chest. Then resting your hands flat and smoothing all the way down the fronts of your legs and off your feet. Now for Yang Bridge, making some horizontal figure eights in front of you. And then we want to receive these eights at the back of the body. With this being Yang Bridge, this is all about doing figure eights at the back. And so now turning round or visualising so that you can receive the eights behind you. And finally, in relation with the bridge flows, we're going to connect the front and the back of the body using figure eights. You might do big, bouncy figure eights or smaller, slower ones. You do want to be connecting the front and the back, so you don't want to do tiny little fairy eights. But there is some variety here in terms of what might feel nice. You may find that it feels more solid and better to you to make sure that you always do head to toe. Just noticing what feels good for you in your energies. It might feel nicer to be closer to the body or further out, more at the edge of your auric field. Okay, bringing your arms to hang naturally wherever they go. Taking a breath and taking a moment to notice once again, where are you in your energies? Have you noticed a change in the last couple of minutes? And let's do the regulator flows now. So for yin regulator, beginning with a heart over your face, then bringing your hands down, and then coming to the opposite shoulders and smoothing down to your elbows. And now reaching up on your chest and smoothing all the way down, coming all the way up your feet. Now yang regulator is where you smooth round both of your ears and then once again coming down the arms to your elbows. And then reaching up at the back of your body and smoothing all the way down back to the legs and off the sides of your feet. And now balancing the vagus nerve. So many different ways you could work with the vagus nerve energies, but together now let's place one hand on the lower belly. If it's comfortable, resting your thumb inside your belly button, placing your other hand somewhere around your neck, wherever it's comfortable. Earlier I mentioned digestion because I know that it's highly relevant for so many people. So please know that the vagus nerve can be really key for some people with digestion. I find particularly in relationship with stomach meridian, very, very often through energy testing, I observe that there's quite a relationship there whereby stomach meridian and the vagus nerve, there's an alignment also. In other words, when one of them balances, the other one usually does, for most people. So bear that in mind. If you have digestion challenges, it's not a promise or a guarantee, but there's a really good chance that through working with your vagus nerve, your stomach meridian energies and other places as well will be more balanced. So continuing to hold now, and I am honoured to share a bit of light language with you. Iyamakuasa shianak kasa diana tukasa sione tuka shana tuasiaya takaka tukana sio, 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 sio. Si sana tu ka. Si konie. Shonya, 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 shonya. Kana si o ta. Si o ke. Shua asati. Kotele. Sio, 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 sio. A casa tuati kona. Tua ka. Sio. Sha ta 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 ta. Uka si olana aya. Sika tu ona. She kiyo ka. Usana siwa. Take some deep breaths. And when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, allowing them to flutter open. Once again, just noticing how you're feeling. That light language was more than anything, my intention is to support integration with these transmissions. But I was very aware of working what felt like within the chakras here. So I wanted to share that as, how would I put it? The word that came to mind was tease. I don't mean that with a negative connotation. I mean, maybe like dangling a bit of a carrot there for you, something to think about and to think, how am I feeling within my chakra energies? And do I feel that there's balance there, or are there places within my chakras I'd like to open up to creating new balance? And sometimes just having that intention can make a difference. So let's see what the oracle cards are saying and see what wisdom comes from there. Okay, so the message on this card is defend to the end, the worthwhile. Defend to the end, the worthwhile. What meaning might that have for you? And check out this image. There's a lot to see here. Notice the owl. Notice the shapes. Notice the colour. Defend to the end, the worthwhile. So taking that into your day with you, perhaps to give you some clarity, some support or inspiration. I do hope that you have a lovely day, whatever you're doing, and may your energies reach new balance. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you tomorrow.